Good morning students. Welcome in this class. This video is for class 8th subject Social Science. Today we are going to start History chapter 6 Weavers, Iron Smelters and Factory Owners. It is the first lecture of this chapter and in today's lecture we will discuss about the following topics. First, about two main industries. These were cotton and textile. Second topic, Indian textile and the world market. Okay, means the place of or the role of Indian textiles in world market. Indian textile in European markets and invention of spinning jenny and steam engine. Yes friends, actually in this chapter we will discuss about the two very important industries during the time of British rule, and these industries were there textile and iron and steel industries. Okay, so the two main industries of India at the time of British rule, these were textile and iron and steel industries. Okay, textile, iron and steel industries were important for the industrial progress in the modern world. Britain started to be known as the industrial nation due to the presence of mechanized cotton production. So in 1850s, it came to be known as the workshop of the world because iron and steel industry started growing in Britain during this period. Okay, so means this industrializations of Britain had a close connections with the conquest and the colonization of India. Okay, means the industrialization in Britain was closely connected with the colonizations of India, as we have already studied in chapter 2nd that how East India Company became master of our world because it wanted to trade in our country and for the sake of profit. So in the late 18th century, Britain was just you can say purchasing goods from India, okay, for selling them, or in Europe to earn profit out of the sale of these goods. So as the industrial production increased in Britain, now India was seen as the market for its products and the British started flooding the Indian market with their goods. Okay, so beta in the starting, as we know, the main purpose of the East India Company to earn profit. Okay, so in the starting they are just you can say purchased raw material like cotton, okay, from the India, and they prepare the things in Britain. And so at that time, means after when industrial revolution occurred in Britain, so now means they started to sell this product in Indian market. Earlier they just purchased raw material. Now what they started prepare goods from this raw material and again sell these products in Indian market. So it's saying that up to the 18th centuries that the Indians market flooded with goods which were made in Britain. This is there. So how this inflow of goods affected our industries and market, we will discuss in this chapter. So first of all, we must know about the textile industries or textile market and its demand in the world. Okay, so now we will discuss about Indian textile and the world market. Okay, means what was the role of the Indian textile, where they stood in the world. Okay, yes beta, around 1750 India was the world's largest producer of cotton textile. Yes, means before the British conquest over Bengal, okay, India was the world's largest producer of cotton textile. The Indian cotton textile was famous for both its finest quality, okay, and that better craftsmanship. Indian textiles were traded in the Southeast Asia and West and Central Asia. Means in Southeast India the two main centers were Java and Sumatra. This is there. So in 16th century, various European companies started purchasing Indian textiles for sale in Europe. Okay, and if I give the example, means for example patola was a type of cloth. So patola weave was woven in Surat, Ahmedabad, okay, and that pattam, and this type of weave was famous in Indonesia, so it was highly valued there. So even many words related to the Indian words which were used for various type of textile are still prevalent in English and other languages. So such word tells us about our history. So now we will discuss about these words. The words which were used for Indian textile, and these words now also found in English language. Okay, they are used in the same way. So now we will discuss about this word. Yes, beta, Indian textile were famous in Western market under different names such as muslin and calico. Okay, actually what is there means the fine cotton cloth which was first seen by the European traders was the one which was carried by the Arab traders in Mosul. Mosul is a city. Okay, now it is presented in Iraq. Now means it is in Iraq. So they started referring it as muslin cloth. So this word earned them a lot of money. Okay, means the first cotton textiles which the Arab traders took from there, that they took this textile from the Mosul place. Okay, and that's why due to this name they give name muslin to this cotton cloth. Another name calico. Okay, students, actually why this name is given, when the Portuguese came to India for purchasing spices. Okay, as we know that Indian spices were great in demand in a world market. So when Portuguese came in India for the trading purpose of spices, so they landed at Calicut. Okay, means first where they landed, that place was Calicut. So the textile which they took back to Europe came to be known as calico. So means along with spices they took some you can say cotton clothes also with them, and the cotton clothes which they took from there they gave the name calico. Okay, so why this name is given? Because they are collected or they took this clothes from Calicut. Understood? Now yes students, printed cotton clothes called cheent. Actually students, cheent is a Hindi word which in English it is known as printed cloth, and Hindi it is known as cheent. Okay, produced in Machilipatnam and Andhra Pradesh and Bandhana. Bandhana derived from bandhana, mist or tie and dye. Produced in Gujarat and Rajasthan, were ordered in bulk. What is there beta? Actually about these two types of cloth, first is muslin and calico. Actually these two words were used for the cotton clothes. Means the Arab merchants which they took cotton cloth from the Machilipatnam, they give the name muslin, and which they took from the Calicut, they give the calico. Now about the other types of clothes, in which the one which was famous, that was cheent. So means that was printed cloth. Printed cloth was known as cotton, printed cloth was known as cheent. Okay, and it was produced in Machilipatnam and Andhra Pradesh. Second type of there, that was you can say bandhana. Actually what was bandhana? Bandhana you can say it is a process of tying and dyeing the clothes. Okay, so tying and dyeing the clothes, what does it mean? In which that the some parts of the cloth, first the means it was tied with the thread. Okay, and after that the cloth was dipped in the colored water. Okay, so in the way in which the color, you can say cloth is colored or painted, that this process, this technique was known as bandhana, means tie and dye, bandhna or rangna. And this type of cotton clothes you can say was produced in Gujarat and Rajasthan. You can see in the Jaipur. Okay, in the Jaipur, Jaipuri you can see dupatta, Jaipuri stall. So now in this Jaipuri stall or Jaipuri dupatta, Jaipuri sari, you can see that bandhana print. Okay, understood beta? So these were the some varieties of the Indian clothes which were famous in the world market. Okay, so means the Indian textile had an important place in the world, means the clothes of India were famous or were great in demand in the world. Okay. Now, different varieties of clothes were named differently, such as printed cotton clothes were called chint, kozas, khasa and bandhana. Already we have discussed about it. As chint is derived from Hindi word chint, a cloth with small and colorful floral design. Already I told you. Bandhana derived from the word bandhana and refers to the brightly colored and printed scarf for the neck or head produced through a method of tying and dyeing. So understood about these two types of clothes, chint and bandhana. Okay, beta. Now, so many here I have shown you the pic also. That first pic, okay, that is related to bandhana, and the second is chint, means printed flower clothes. Got it? Yes. Yes, friends, many other fabrics came to be known from their places of origin, such as Kasim Bazaar, Patna, Calcutta, Orissa. Okay, so means in which Patola, Jamdani, Chint, they were famous, you can say, pattern, which were famous in the world market. And Surat and Ahmedabad, these two places were producers of patola, that was also a type of cloth. And Jamdani was that printed or found this cloth in Bengal, Chint, Andhra Pradesh. Okay, friends, now we have discussed about the Indian textile in the world. Okay, means Indian clothes were famous in the world market. Okay, now we will discuss about the Indian textile in European market. Got it? Yes, Indian textile became widely popular by the early 18th century, which worried wool and silk market in England. What is it? Actually, during the early 18th century, as the demand for the Indian textile grew in England. Okay, so the wool and silk makers started protesting against the import of textile from India. But actually, India was the first country, okay, those who started you can say make cotton clothes. Means here craftsmen were expert in making good quality, okay, and fine cotton clothes. But when these industries were set up in Europe also, okay, so beta in Europe also, so as we know that the Indian textile, okay, means they were, you can say, became very popular, okay, means the Indian cloth was great in demand in European market. Okay, so that's why means the craftsman or the cloth maker, you can say weaver of England, okay, means they started protesting against the import of textile from India, and they forced the Britain government को उन्होंने force किया. For what? Okay, they forced the Britain government, okay, that to ban the import of textile from India. Got it? Means who started protesting? Weavers of England. Why? Because the Indian clothes was in great demand. The Indian cotton textile demands were increasing day by day. Okay, so in this way that the weaver of the England means they were, or means their source of income was losing. That's why. Got it? So what happened? What the Britain government that which act was taken by the British government? So in 1720 the British government enacted, that is, legislation banning the use of printed cotton textile chint in England, called the Calico Act. Yes, friends, this act was known as Calico Act. As I told you, calico word was used for all types of cotton clothes. First, this word was used for just for that cotton cloth which was collected by the Calicut. But later on, this calico word was used for all types of cotton clothes. Okay, so means according to the act, according to this act, Calico Act, which was passed in 1720, the import of Indian textile in Britain was banned. कि अब कोई भी इंग्लैंड में इंडिया से बना कपड़ा नहीं खरीदेगा. And this act was known as Calico Act, and when it was passed in 1720. Understood? So means the Calico Act was made in order to ban the use of printing, cotton, sheet, textile. So at this time, the textile industries of England was its budding stage, and it was difficult to compete with the Indian textile. Okay, actually the Indians were expert in making that cotton clothes. Okay, and so in that means you can say the textile industries in England, that was their starting stage. So it was very difficult for the Britain to compete with the Indian textile because the Indian weavers were expert. Okay, and in England the textile industries was just started. This is there. So English producers wanted to safeguard their market from the Indian textile. So a calico printing industry grew under the protections of the government, and they used to copy the Indian printed design on white muslin or plain Indian clothes. Understood about it? Means Indian designs were imitated. Imitated means copy, and printed in England on white muslin or plain unbleached means white plain cloth. Means now these British weavers, they started to copy the Indian designs and print. This is there. So this competition led to introduction of technology in England. So in 1764, the spinning jenny was invented by John Kay. It was a spinning machine. What was the spinning jenny? Actually, it was a spinning machine that could operate several spindles in single rotation. So this way, means this technique increased the production of textile industries in England. So and the another invention which occurred in this time in England, that was the steam engine. Okay, so means with the invention of steam engine by Richard Arkwright. Okay, the steam engine was that invented by Richard Arkwright in 1786. He invented steam engine, and these two invention, invention of that spinning jenny and invention of steam engine, they brought industrial revolution in England. Now weaving cotton became speedy and cheaper also. Okay, however, Indian textile was still dominating the market till the end of the 18th century. Means due to this two invention, now the production of cotton clothes in England increased. Now they could produce fine quality cotton clothes with the help of these machines. Okay, and they can produce large amount of that textile in short period of time. This is there. So Indian textile dominated world trade till the end of the 18th centuries. European trading companies purchased cotton and silk textile in India by importing silver. Okay, but after this invention, means few period you can say, means after the inventions of these two machines, okay, means later few years the Indian textile dominated, means they were now also famous and great in demand in the world. Okay, now European trading company, they purchased cotton and silk from India by importing that import with silver. Okay, means they purchased Indian cotton and that silk with exchange silver and gold. So when East India Company gained political power in Bengal, it no longer had to import precious metal to buy Indian goods. Okay beta, as we know that the last Mughal emperor, or you can say the Aurangzeb, they gave a farman to the East India Company, and according to that farman, they were given the right of collection taxes. So earlier they purchased Indian goods with the importing silver and gold, but now they could use this you can say amount, or use this money which they collected as taxes from the India to buy Indian goods. Understood? Means they collected the taxes from the Indians, and the same money, same amount they used to purchase Indian goods. So instead they collected revenue from peasants and zamindar in India and used this revenue to buy Indian textile. So means in which they were earning more and more profit. Okay students, so beta, in this way our today's lecture is completed, and in tomorrow lecture we will discuss about these weavers, who were weavers and how the means you can say Indian textile declined ओके बेटा, कि द इंडियन टेक्सटाइल विच वॉज फेमस इन द वर्ल्ड, विच वॉज फेमस इन द यूरोप, सो हाउ दिस इंडियन टेक्सटाइल डिक्लाइंड इन late 18th centuries. So related to this topic we will have a discussion in tomorrow lecture. Okay, now note down your homework. So your first question is there, that is what kind of cloth had a large market in Europe. Here you have to tell about the Indian cloth. Which Indian cloth has had a large market in Europe? Which Indian cloth was great in demand in Europe? What is bandhana? This I have explained you. What type of technique is there? So how do the names of different textile tell us about their history? Here I have discussed about the calico, muslin. Okay, this type of different textile, they tell us about our history. Why were printed Indian cotton textile popular in India? Due to its fine quality, okay, and cheaper also. So beta, this is your homework. So that answer this question in your fair notebook, and after completion submit it to me on my email ID. Yes friends, actually I want to give one message at this video. Actually few students are there beta, those who are attending online classes. Now it is compulsory to attend, because the students, those who are not attending or not submitting the homework, so their absent is marked in their attendance register. Okay, so be regular in your work and be regular in your online classes. Thank you so much.